Hello, warriors. Fernando here, God's prepared warrior, and today is Saturday, July 5th, and today I am speaking with a heavy yet hopeful heart about the tragic flash flooding in Kerrville and in the Hill Country here in Texas. This happened yesterday, July 4th. And so wanted to kind of bring context here for you guys because I want all of you to be informed warriors and that you are also in a prayerful spirit for the folks here in the Hill Country here in Texas. So what happened? Here's what happened. Over 10 to 13 inches of rain fell in mere hours along the Guadalupe River near Kerrville, near Ingram, and near Hunt, Texas, and the surrounding areas. This hit late Thursday night into early Friday morning, and the river surged nearly 26 to 29 feet in under an hour. I wanna pause right there because I want you to think about that statement, because the perplexity of all of that water was like a wall, right? This river surged 26 to 29 feet in under an hour, fast enough to overwhelm the riverbank homes and the cabins without warning. So as of this morning, at least 24 people have tragically died, and around 20 or more girls from Camp Mystic are still missing. Now these are preteen children who were at an all-girls camp, and 20 plus are still missing and unaccounted for. This is the tragedy of yesterday in the Texas Hill Country. Now, there were rescue efforts, and there were over 237 people rescued. They were rescued with helicopters, airlifting at least 167 individuals, supported by 100 plus state troopers, 12 drones that were in the air, and countless rescue teams. State officials have declared disaster in multiple counties, not just Kerrville, but in multiple counties, deploying the Texas National Guard, DPS troopers, and game wardens and emergency teams. Now, I will say, in the town that I work in, several of the police officers there were deployed to this area to assist. Now, kids, families, some were present for the holiday weekend, ended up clinging to trees and roofs overnight. This was also on the news that we got to see here locally. So they were clinging to the rooftops, trees, and we were seeing them being rescued by the helicopters and airlifted to safety. What are the safety and preparedness lessons from this? Because my channel, we talk about, let's look at this situation and ask ourselves, would we have been ready? So there was a flash flood risk that was given. This area is in a flash flood alley, and I will tell you why, because not a lot of people understand why is it that when it rains in Texas, why do a lot of Texas places get flooded? And I will tell you, it is due to the heat-hardened soil. We are practically almost always in a drought And because of that, the heat makes the dirt, the ground, more like almost like cement, so that when it rains, it collects. It doesn't, the ground does not absorb the water fast enough because of this heat hardened rocky soil that we have. And so water doesn't absorb, and it runs off really fast. So there were warning gaps in this situation. Local officials said that there was no warning system in place. There was a section of the Guadalupe that did have a warning section. I think that was in Hunt, Texas. But in Kerrville, they didn't have a warning system in place. Radar cannot predict the extreme levels of rain, and the residents woke up to a sudden wall of water. This is this is what really tears my heart, is that all of this water came in such speed because of those factors. So torrential rains, and then the ground being so hard that it didn't absorb the water, so that the water went down really fast. And that is really hard to think about when you think about this whole situation. Here are the takeaways that I have thought about, because, well, I'll get to that in a minute, but here are the takeaways. Some tips for us, right, to know. Know that if you live in a flood-prone zone, you need to have those maps. You need to understand where these zones are if you live in that zone, and you need to prepare accordingly for that zone. That means that you need to have a flood checklist, and I'm going to work on one this weekend and have it out on my website. I will leave links everywhere in all of my social media to make sure that you have that ready and handy at hand. So I will work on that. You need to identify high ground elevation routes, and if you are able to print out topo maps for your area, you will be able to see in those topo maps what are the elevated what is the elevated ground where you can be on that brings you up higher, right? Elevation is key when it comes to floods. You should create a nighttime go bag, right? Because this situation happened overnight. You should have a nighttime go bag. You should have your phone in there. You should have water. You should have medical things, first aid kit, flashlights, things like that, right? You should have a bag all the time. You should have all that you need to power that equipment. And then you need to keep an emergency contact list on paper, because electronics will fail. My radios like this, if they were to get wet, they would fail. So just know that, right? I want to encourage all of you spiritually today, and that warfare isn't always geopolitical. It isn't always the end of the world type stuff, but it can be an element of it, right? In moments like this, we're reminded that God is our refuge. He is our strength in an ever present help in trouble, right? That's Psalms 46:1. So let's pray for these grieving families. I think it's important to do that. As warriors, we should band together. That should be the first thing that we do as warriors, is band together to pray for these families. To pray for the girls that are still unaccounted for, and for every responder who is working through this danger. If you've seen any video or floods, you will see how The flood waters have just it grabbed everything. RVs, it grabbed RVs, it grabbed campsites, it grabbed everything that was loose. It grabbed it. It toppled down trees from the roots. It took homes. It took everything. And so we need to pray for our first responders and those teams that are out there looking for people, because it's still a dangerous situation because we're dealing with water, right? This is something that we should be doing, is praying for these folks. So I wanna call you guys out, all of you warriors. I want you to begin today. I've been praying since yesterday, and every time I see a video or I see somebody being interviewed, I say a prayer, because it's really bad. So I want to encourage you guys, and I want to call you to prayer as a community, as God's Prepared Warrior community. Our response is to pray and to bring those folks into prayer. Pray regularly for the people in the Texas Hill Country, and do that. If you would like to donate, I know that you guys would like to donate. There are local relief efforts that are happening. The Community Foundation in Kerrville is raising money for relief efforts and for those who have lost everything. So you can make a donation there. I will put the links in the description below. So, if you like to do that, you like to participate in that, you can. Those of you that live in the area that follow my channel, I pray that you would get with your neighbors and check on them and make sure that they are okay. And if there's any kind of need that they have and you can meet that need, whether that's giving them food or water, please do so. I mean, this is such a tragedy. This tragedy is actually a sudden reminder for all of us that we must prepare, not just physically, but also spiritually, right? You hear me talk about that a lot. So we need to keep our faith anchored, our mind alert, and our heart ready to serve. So guys, thank you for watching this video. If you would like, there are several other places where you can make a donation to. There's the Salvation Army in the area is also taking donations of clothing and toiletries and things like that. Also, J-Star Ministries they're collecting clothing and toiletries and things like that. So you can also do that there in the Kerrville area. I live 64 miles away from what has happened here, and because where I work, I am actually connected to Kerrville, Fredericksburg, all of those places there in the Hill Country, and I have several friends that live out there, and I have been checking on them and making sure that everyone is okay. And so I know that through our work, where I work at, we're going to be helping and assisting families in that affected area as well. So if you'd like to make a donation to Hill Country Daily Bread Ministries in Boerne, Texas, you can definitely do that there as well. So guys, I just wanted to come on and kind of inform you a little bit of what's happening, and invoke all of you into prayer together as a community to pray for these folks, these families who have lost family members, those families and those little girls that are still missing. They weigh heavy on my heart, and I know they weigh heavy on God's heart, and I think it's just so important for us to pray for them. And if there's anything we can do, we can always pray, because prayer is a weapon. And so guys, I just wanted to inform you of all of this that's happening around my area, and that you would continue to keep Texas in prayer. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and share and subscribe my channel so that we can get this pushed out further. And that way we can also let other people know what's happening in this. So warriors, let's stay alert. Let's stay prayerful. And let's stand firm. And until next time, you have a great weekend with you and your family. Happy 4th of July. We're July 5th. It's my wife's birthday today. So just wanted to come on and let you guys know to be in prayer for all of us. God bless and have a great day, guys. See you on the next one.